Hello, hi you guys. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. We're doing hair today. I have been putting this off because I don't like to do my hair, but I'm going to do it today. And while I do it, I'm going to talk. I'm going to chop it up today, just some random stuff. So I'm going to go wash my hair. I've been putting this off, y'all. The hair it's a whole trauma experience. I'm not sure what I want to do with it today. I don't know if I want to straighten it or just kind of try to curl it up, maybe do some twists and let it dry and then wear my like natural hair. I haven't worn my natural in a while. Well, this is kind of natural, but yeah, so come hang out with your girl, have some conversation, just random stuff. We'll be talking about maybe music, maybe some of the things that's going on in the media, some interesting subjects, maybe some hot topics. But I'm going to go wash it, okay? And then I will be back. It may take a minute because, it's a whole ordeal. So, yeah, I'm going to go wash it up and cleanse it, and then we'll come back and then figure out what we're going to do with it. Okay, so give me a second to go wash my hair, and then we'll follow through, okay? Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, comment, even though it's not a general reading, and I may speak, maybe spirit will channel while we're talking, we'll see. But it's just general, relaxing conversation for the most part, okay? Just hanging out with you guys. And yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm all washed up, and let me just admit that I don't like to do my hair because it's a lot. It's a lot. And when I was young, I used to love to do my hair, and I could just like do everything for myself. I didn't really have to like go to the shop or depend on the shop to do it. But now that I'm older, I don't really enjoy it anymore. Like my arms get tired fast. I'm just like, it's boring to me. But today I have found that I have to do it because I've been walking around looking like who done it and what for about a week and a half since I took my braids out. And so I gotta do something with my hair. Okay, so I did wash it. This is the washed look. And I don't know if you guys are into like natural hair products. I am. I'm natural. And I use As I Am. This is like, it's a really good line. It's natural. It uses a lot of natural ingredients. And I did use I did use a neutralizer. I guess that would be chemical because it actually strips the hair. It strips all of the oils and brings it back to the pH balance. And then I used a coconut co-wash from As I Am. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do the twists. I'm not going to put no heat on it. And so for the twist, I have double butter cream to replenish the cream and to moisturize it. And then I also have the twist defining cream as well. So I've never really been very successful, I'm gonna be honest, with the twists, but I'm gonna try it today. And so as you can see, it's like really natural. It has a nice little texture to it. But when it dries, it gets really frizzy, right? It's an afro basically. So this cute little bouncy texture, it doesn't last. As it dries out, it swells and I end up with this big giant afro. One day, I'm gonna have the nerve to wear it. I love afros, but I'm not there yet. And so we'll see what happens. Let me go get my comb. Five hours later. What are you about to do? My hair. I'm live. Oh, yeah, I'm about to twist my hair. You want to say hi? That's my little kitten. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. My hairstylist probably is not gonna like this because I'm gonna put some castor oil because my hair is really my scalp can get really it sucks up oil. And it's because of the texture. You know, black people we have to put oil in our hair because of the texture of the hair. It absorbs oil as opposed to if the straighter the hair is, it emits oil. And so my hairstylist probably is not going to like this, but I'm going to have black castor oil that I'm using. I'm gonna put some of this on my scalp because I want it to be moist, you know. I can't stand a dry, itchy scalp. It doesn't work for me. So the first subject that I wanted to talk about, I was watching TikTok and I saw this couple that was arguing. I don't know why couples argue on, you know, and they publish. I guess it could be, you know, to get a response or support maybe, but to invite people in. I never understood why a couple in a close relationship would want to invite people into their relationship. But she posted a live discussion she was having with her husband about him complaining about the fact that she gained weight since she's had the baby. Apparently it was like 2 years past, which is understandable, right? Because I mean, when we fall in love with a person and then it changes, which is understandable too, because you know, when we have babies, especially if it's your first baby, the body is going to change. And then just in general, things are going to change in the relationship. Does that mean that we have to accept that change and just, you know, not try to actually, you know, oh, what's this? It feels like water. Yes, it is. Does that mean that we have to lay down and succumb to the change? I don't believe so. I think that it is what you make it. I think it was a healthy conversation. The fact that he felt kind of dissatisfied with the fact that she looks different now, or she's not as slim. And he went even so far as to say, you know, it's really during, you know, their intimate sessions where he felt he just didn't feel the same. I felt like he could have been a little bit more compassionate, you know, being that she's the one that has to carry the baby. She's the one who has her body, you know, that gets morphed out of shape and it changes. I think he could have been more compassionate, but I think he had a good point, and the fact that he was honest about it too, I think was a good thing. Again, I don't think I would publicize it and put it on, you know, social media, because they got a lot of feedback, a lot of comments. Some people were saying, oh no, it's time for you to find someone new. And then other people were saying, yeah, well, he does have a point, you know, at least he's open and he's being honest. At least he's willing to go with you, right? Because he was saying, well, I go, you know, 2 hours a day. You can come with me. Like, I'm going to support you in it. And she was like, well, what would we do with the kids? Well, you drop your kids off at your mama's house any other time. And so there's just a lot of going back and forth. But, and then she had some complaints about him. She was like, well, if you stayed in the gym 2 hours a day, where are your muscles at? Because I don't see no muscles that support a 2-hour workout every day. So what are you doing? And he was like, oh, you try to clown now. And she was like, no, I'm just being real. Like, you on my case, but let me just be real too. Like, you don't even look like you work out. Like, where's your muscles to support that you're spending all this time and effort in the gym while I'm at home with the babies? And so it's just this very interesting conversation that I just, you know, have the privilege of witnessing, which is, I think is something that is very common, not just with Black folk. It was a Black couple, but with everybody. I think this is very common just in general between, you know, when you have a relationship or you're married and you marry this person that looks a certain way and you're turned on by their physique. And there's just so many things about them that you fall in love with. And then as the relationship changes, right? Because it's no longer about just you and them. When you first meet somebody and you guys have not started having kids yet, that's easy because it's just you and them. It's just about you and them. There's no one else to consider. And then you start having kids, and it's like, okay, now we have a third wheel. Not to call it a third wheel, but now you have something else to consider. You have someone else to consider along with. So it's more responsibility added on. And honestly, it's more stress. Yeah, it's more stress, more demand, more responsibility, more headache, because on the days where you just want to go your way and do your thing, you can't do that. You can't, because you have kids now. And so there's a lot more to consider now that there's kids involved, and it does change the relationship drastically. And so you have to recalibrate, you have to revamp like what the actual dynamics look like for the relationship. Yes, you're still married. Ooh, this is pink. Yes, you're still married, and a lot of things are still like you're still committed and all that, but there's so many things that change, including the woman's body when she decides to have your children. Like, that's a given. And so for you to think that things will always be the same, and I would say kudos for those, and I was one of them. I was a person whose body snapped right back. I think I was skinnier after I had my kids than I was before, just because of the nature of the pregnancy. I was high risk with my twins, and so I really couldn't eat a lot. I couldn't hold a lot down, so I got really, really thin during my pregnancy. And after I had the kids, I was almost like in better shape than I was before I had them. So there are the exception, and then there are those that take it really seriously too. They're like right into that gym or right to whatever it is that they need to do to snap back into shape. Kudos to those people, but not everybody is like that. And unfortunately, you won't know until you actually have kids. You don't know, if you're going to be up to just jump right back into life after you have your kids. There's so many things that are happening in your body, so many things that are happening in your mind with your energy, and just, you can't tell what type of post pregnancy type of person you're going to be. And so it's difficult. It's hard. So I sympathize with that couple, the fact that they were bold enough to put it on, the internet and allow people to speak into their situation. It's difficult. I'm I'm really private. And so I absolutely wouldn't feel comfortable like publicizing my personal life like that. I would rather go get like personal counseling as opposed to opening it up just to, conversation general from people that I don't know. Right? I don't know. That's hard. But obviously he felt some kind of way about it. She didn't see anything wrong with it. She was just like, what do y'all think? He, feels like ever since I had the baby, like he doesn't love me anymore because I've gained weight. And so I don't know how that turned out for him, but they sure got a lot of feedback. People were real quick to add their 2 cents. But I don't know. I see both sides. I have to empathize with her, but I also have to empathize with him as well because, he's right. He fell in love with someone who is fit. Does he have the right to say something? Of course, but I think he also has to be supportive in what he's desiring from her, and he also has to be patient when she's ready, right? Because she may say, yeah, you're right, but when I'm ready, let me handle that the way that I want to, because I'm that way too. Like, I won't completely dismiss, but I'm gonna be like, well, when I'm ready, I'll handle that. I'm sure she knows before he even mentioned it. I'm sure she is aware that she's not the person physically that she was before she had kids. Part of that is allowing her, to take the lead in that when she's ready. And so that was the first thing that was on my mind this morning. The second thing was about, I don't know if any of you guys know about twin flames. Lots of questions. I have lots of questions. So first of all, I'm not sure if I ever believed. I've heard about it. I've heard things about it. I've watched videos, but I haven't really gotten deep into it. A lot of things for me has changed drastically as far as what I believe is possible because of my experiences. You know, you can't argue with an experience. I'll say that. And so, whereas I used to be very skeptical, like now I'm like, okay, what do you guys, and maybe somebody can give some feedback. Because it's one thing to watch a video, but it's another thing to speak to people who's had experience with something. And so my first question would be like the twin flame journey, like not what is it, because I know what it is. I know that it's designed to help grow. It doesn't necessarily mean romance. I realize that. But it means, bringing experiences together for the purpose of growth, soul growth. And I guess one of my questions, first of all, would be like, is it something that is supposed to be agreed upon? Or is it something that can happen without you even realizing it? That would be my first question. And is it something that you can be a part of without necessarily intentionally, being active in or participating in? I just have questions. I don't know. Because I'm the type of person, like, even if I was to find myself in one, I would probably, first of all, be the last to know, because I am somebody who, I try not to pay a lot of attention outside of myself. And it's purposeful because I try to really just focus on myself, especially now. I'm just really trying to be self-aware and trying to be really cautious, in life right now. And so even if I was to find myself in one, I don't think that I would even be aware. I don't know a lot about what it means. I have a vague idea. I have mixed information. Like, some people will completely be like, yeah, this is a real thing. Other people will be like, it's stupid, right? It's something that somebody made up. But there are people that have, had experiences. And then there's the other extreme where there's the manipulation that happens. And I watched this one show one time when I became aware of what it was and how they have built, there's people that have built, like, I guess you could say, cults or businesses off of it, if I could say that. Which was really interesting because if I remember correctly, when I watched these TV shows, it was a Netflix show that they created, and it was like very extreme. It was extreme to the point where you had to submit to like certain theologies and rules. Like, it was weird. I was like, yeah, that could never, ever be me, because it just sounds too much like religion is what it sounded like to me. It was a lot like religion. It was basically a cult. And of course there were, the leadership of these organizations that set the rules and the tone. It's just weird. I was like, yeah, no. And I think that's what really turned me off to the idea around twin flames. But from what I understand, other people who've had experiences, there's this one lady who's I enjoy listening to her speak. She's had a very interesting journey when it comes to twin flame. And one where she says that it took her 15 years, she said, to come into union. And it was a very interesting type of experience where she had never, ever even met this person. And she felt like she was led to go back to her childhood home. And this happens to be the person that was staying in her childhood home. And she said when he opened the door, she just knew that she was home, right? She just knew. And he said, "Welcome home." That was like his first words to her. And so it was very interesting, very mystical. So stories like that kind of romanticize it. But on the flip side of it, I think there's a danger in it too, if you're not really grounded in a way. She seems like she's someone who's very grounded. The fact that she ran, for 15 years, she's very grounded and very connected and in tune with herself and with her higher power. And so I've heard, horror stories, of course, about it, but I've also heard some very interesting experiences as well. So that's something that I've been just kind of wondering about. Um, and I am aware too that it's not always about love, right? It's not always about love. And so it's understanding that as well. Sometimes the twin flame is about mission, and it's about coming together in a way that allows you to fulfill your mission or help someone else fulfill their mission, right? It's completely platonic. But the whole purpose of it is to align, right? Align with your soul, with your soul's mission. And so there's a purpose to it overall. And so I just had questions. I don't know if someone watching has experienced it, and if you could just offer some of your experience or advice. Let me know what you think about it. Twin flames. Is it BS? Or do you have some personal experience that has led you into interesting discoveries? I'd like to hear about it. Please and thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. So you guys see all this work that it takes. Oh my gosh. It's too much. It's too much. I can't. It's too much. But we're going to see how this comes out, because I haven't really had good luck when it comes to twists. It never really comes out the way that I want it to. But I just feel some type of way. I feel a little bit different about this time. But we'll see. Your life. And so for this side, I tend to like this side a little bit chunkier. So I'm going to make the twists, the sections for the twist a little bit bigger, because I want a little bit more volume on this side. And this, hopefully, my intention is that this style will last all week, okay? Or I just tie it down, or it'll be a style that's versatile. If I want to like wrap it up in the back, let the front hang out, or wrap it with a cloth wrap, let a part of it hang out. Like, this is meant to be, something that you can work with and be versatile with. Or you could just let it hang, free flow. Now that excess product. See how it's starting to dry and kind of draw up. That's what happens when it dries. I think we're making good timing because I gotta go get my son from work. Okay. Oh. Where is it? I took my earpiece out and I hear it, but I don't know where it's at. There it is. Can somebody tell me where? Oh, baby. On my hands, your hands. Oh, babe. So if I didn't choose to just let it do a natural style, I would be blow drying it right now, putting heat on it to straighten it. And then after I blow dry it out, I would put the flat iron to it and then straighten it some more till it's like silky, right? And so a couple of different things we could do here. Of course, this way is much easier. I don't really, it's not as much work as blow drying and flat ironing. Plus, this way will probably be, being that it's so hot, it's probably going to work out better overall because the amount of sweat that I do is profuse, okay? And it's hard on the hair. Like literally, I can go to the shop and get my hair done and step outside of the shop and my edges and my roots have already reverted back to an afro as soon as I step out the shop. It's just crazy that way. Whoa. I can feel it. I do. I know that you've been. It's time. Say what is right for me. Open your mind. And then there's the logical, going back to the twin flame thing, there's the logical point of, okay, it's almost like if you've heard of like internet dating or blind dating, right? For those that would look at it from a romantic standpoint, there's a danger in not knowing like who you're dealing with. When I watched the documentary, there was, for some of those couples, it was a tremendous amount of, I would even call it abuse, right? That's one of the things about the twin flame journey. Sometimes we tend to think that they're supposed to be the dealing with these different idiosyncrasies of each other. But when it's abuse, right? Okay, that's something totally different. I don't think that, I don't, for me, and I can only speak for me, I don't think that that is something that was constructed for soul growth, right? I think that's something else. Now, the fact that that would happen and it would cause you to awaken and say, oh, I know what that is. Let me move far away from that, right? That's soul growth. But for you to sit in it and think that that's something that you're supposed to be dealing with for the terms of soul growth, no, right? I think it could come across for some as, oh, I need to endure this. This is something that I'm supposed to endure to make it, to a place where I can do what I'm supposed to be doing. But I don't think abuse is ever okay in any form. I don't, okay? And I'm just speaking personally. I think, if anything, if that is the case, it comes to show you how much you've grown and how much you are able to recognize that growth by removing yourself out of that situation, right? That could be the reason why that is happening. It's not so that you would stay and stick in it and deal with it. And so just lots of questions around the soul journey when it comes to twin flames. And I know that's different than soulmates. I just really feel like anybody can really be a soulmate. That's someone who is willing to align, or someone who is just automatically aligned, right, with you. Which positions them to be able to experience life on your perspective, and you experience life on their perspective. It's being aligned from the heart space to the point where you feel like a sense of connection, again, through purpose. But the twin flame, I've come to understand, and I don't know the definition of it, but from what I know, it almost feels like it's not necessarily something that comes to fulfill anything, but it's almost like a lesson along the way. That's what it feels like to me. It's not the destination, but it's a lesson that you meet before the destination, meant to teach you things about your journey that you need to know. And it could be very much purposeful and constructed to equip you for what's coming along in the future, right? Now, this other lady that ended up with her twin flame, I guess that's a little different. So I guess I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. Have I had the experience of a twin flame? I think I have. Again, I'm not sure. One of the questions that I would have is it something that you have to agree to, or you just wake up and you find yourself in a twin flame connection? Like you're connected to somebody, you didn't even realize it. And you're like, wait a minute, what? What happened? When did that happen? And what, okay, fill me in, like totally dumbfounded by everything happening. And so I don't know. That's my question. Is this something that you agreed to? And I'm not talking about from a soul level. It's like, yeah, we agreed to this before we came. No, do you say, okay, I agree to being your twin flame and we're going to, walk and learn from this experience? Or do you just find yourself in it? Because it's just weird. I don't know. I'm very intrigued. Slip away, slip away. All right, this is the last one. Let's just hope that this comes out right, because if it doesn't, baby girl is going to be in a baseball cap all next week. Because we're not rewashing it again. It's just going to have to be ponytailed. Don't wanna lose it. Okay, this is what it looks like. And so we'll just let it kind of dry, which it will really fast. When I go out, it's going to dry really fast, as hot as it is outside. And then once it dries, I'll probably just tie it up and style it before I go to work. But I will be sure to put some pictures up so you'll see it. If you're interested, come back, take a look. What you guys up to today? Anything exciting? Anybody swimming? Like, I haven't been swimming. Y'all, I'm a swimming beetle. And I haven't even been swimming this summer, not once. Part of the reason is because of my hair. I love to swim. What I need is a waterproof cap. And I just haven't done the research to find one, an expensive one, because the last couple of years, not last year, but the year before, like I was out swimming like every day. Every day I was swimming, and it took a toll on my hair. And it just so happened that I had also just dyed my hair like a lightish brown color, and no bueno. No bueno. By the end of the summer, my stuff was so thin. I was so upset because I put a lot of time and effort into growing my hair, and it was really healthy. And even though I really tried really hard to wash it and condition it after each swim, it didn't help. And I found myself like just not really liking how it looked. And so I had to start back over, and I cut it really short, maybe about a year ago. I cut it really short, like right about my neck. And now that it's growing back out, I'm really liking how it's growing out. And so I don't want to, even though I love to swim a lot, like I could swim every single day, but the hair thing, what I'm concerned about. But I am going to get some swimming in before it's over. I just need to go get me a suitable cap so I don't have to worry about my hair. I could just tie it and wrap it, put that cap on, and go on about my business. And when I'm done swimming, take the cap off. That's my intention. Oh, I missed a piece. Okay, so that's all. I don't really have anything else to talk about. And so I'll show a picture when it's all done. And maybe I'll wait before even posting this too, until the picture comes through when it dries out, maybe tomorrow. Okay. So this is part number 1, and we'll see how part number 2 turns out when it dries, and then I take it down and style it, okay? All right, y'all. Thanks for stopping and listening. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Make sure you comment if you are someone who has something to add to the conversation, especially as it pertains to the twin flame thing. I want to hear it, okay? So let me know what it is, and we'll talk later, okay? Blood Moon Oracle. Until next time, bye. Like, share, comment.